What is going on, guys? DBG here, and this is another episode of the tier list. So we are doing so many tier lists right now in my team because you know what, it is coming towards the end of the month, and I forgot February had 28 days in it rather than 31 or 30 days. So there are a bunch of stuff we still have to do. Obviously, we have kind of a monthly schedule on videos we update, and this is going to be one of them. So before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to 235,000 subscribers by the end of March. And right now, it's looking like we're just about going to hit that number. If you guys want to find out about the best overall cards in my team, if you guys want to watch both current gen and next gen gameplay, and if you guys just want to learn about the mode, learn about when cards are dropping, learn about stats, and just, again, learn about getting better at the game, this is the perfect place to be. So anyway, now let's get on to the list. So we're starting off with Aaron Gordon. I mean, Gordon's fine. He's C tier. Like, I don't think anyone's going to argue Aaron Gordon's a bad card. Because he's not. He's like, and I'm sorry to say it, he is literally like a worse version of Sekou Doumbouya. He's a good defender, got actually a pretty good player build. So that is something that he's got that a lot of people have kind of underrated. His player build is actually really nice. His jumper, I mean, from using Doumbouya, I think his base is fine. I think his upper is bad. But again, it's not like he is, he's going to be the greatest card. He's also not bad. Allen Houston, these guys are always kind of, I always put them kind of in the same tier. I mean, Allen Houston may be a tier above. Like, he's a fine catch and shoot player. Like, he really is. Like, he hits wide open shots, but there are so many guys that do the same thing. Like, I think anyone will tell you that there are 30 cards in the game that do the exact same thing as Allen Houston. So, yeah, he's C tier. Iverson. I mean, if Ty reacts to this, he's going to go crazy, but he hates Iverson like I hate Ben Wallace. I'm going to put Allen Iverson D tier. I don't think he's bad. Like, I think he can score. Like, I've been using Iverson in a couple of squads and a couple of theme squad builders, and like, he can score. He dunks on people, surprisingly enough. The guy can't play defense, obviously. He's not the greatest card in the world in terms of like anything but scoring, but I mean, he can score. He's not that different to like an Isaiah Thomas or anything. So I'm gonna put him here. Alonzo Mourning, he's gone cheap. He's not bad. He really is not bad. His release, I mean, isn't the greatest in the world, but it's not awful. Like, again, it's on quick. I don't think anyone's going to say that this release is awful, that they've used the, or anyone that's used the card. He's got pretty good defense, pretty good speed, and overall it's a pretty good card. Ben Simmons, A, because he can't shoot. If he suits your playstyle and you want to put Ben Simmons in S tier, be my guest. Be my guest. I'm not going to argue if you think Ben Simmons is S tier, because he is definitely a niche player. He is a player that a lot of people have a lot of success with, and a lot of people don't have a lot of success with him. So really, it's a tough one because, again, he's a player that not everyone's going to like. Now, personally, he doesn't really suit the way I play the game. I'll be the first to say that. He does not really suit the way I play the game. And anytime I've tried to use him, I have not had the most success with him, but I've seen people at the highest level use this guy and have a lot of success. Does that mean they're better players than me? Well, they are better players, but the fact that they are able to use Ben Simmons doesn't necessarily prove that. But there are a lot worse players than me at the game that are great with Ben Simmons, and there are a lot better players than me in the game that don't like Ben Simmons either. So he's a weird one. Like, he's like a Marmite player. You either love him or you hate him. For me, I mean, I think he's like, I like him. I mean, I'd probably use 10 point guards over him, but I'm not crazy enough to say he's not one of the best point guards in the game, so he's A tier. Blake Griffin, he could be pushing S, honestly. Blake Griffin could be pushing S tier. Like, Blake is really good. He's a super underrated player. Just because, like, again, the card does everything. It's just he's a little bit outdated. So, like, all of his, like, stats and badges, again, you gotta badge him up, obviously, because he doesn't really come with anything. Like, the card did come out, like, the first person that got him, I remembered the date vividly because it was the day I got my Xbox, the next gen Xbox. And when Hoove got him, it was November the 10th. He was the first person to get him. Like, again, the reason why I remember that so vividly is that I was in the middle of the gameplay and I had to answer the door to collect my Xbox. But yeah, Blake again, ridiculously good card. Ridiculously good card still to this day. Like again, we saw him being ran a lot into quite a bit in 250. Bobby Jones. I mean, am I crazy putting Bobby Jones in A tier? I think he's the worst player we've seen so far. I'm gonna move Blake up. As far as pink diamonds go, I think Blake maybe belongs in this tier a little more than he belongs in A tier. But like, yeah, Blake is fantastic. But Bobby Jones, defensively, yes. Bobby Jones might be the best defense player in the game. He really might be. So I don't think it's crazy to put him in A tier. I think some people would argue him lower because he doesn't do too much on offense. And I understand that, but I'm going to put him in the tier that he would be for me. And it would be an A tier. Like, I have as much success with a Bobby Jones as I would with a Ben Simmons. Then we got Bob Pettit. I mean, he's worthless. He's got 45 lateral quickness or something. It might be higher, but I think it's in like the 40s. And like that destroys him. Yeah, I get he's got half range. He's got bonga release, which is not bad. His speed's good. His lateral quickness is terrible. And I thought he was usable at the time, but like since this card has come out, we've just got so many just god tier centers that can dribble the ball. Like when he came out, it was only really like Blake Griffin, Draymond Green, those guys, Wayne Embry that were going by him. But or that were like way better than him. But yeah, he's just bad. He's just really bad. Then we got D tier Bradley Beal. He's 6'3". I mean, he doesn't score that much better than Iverson. He's like a 6'3" version of Allen Houston. I might move Houston up a tier, move Beal up a tier. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to move both of these up a tier because they're both better than Iverson. But yeah, Beal is really not great. Beal is really not great in this game. Byron Beck. I mean, is Byron Beck better than Bobby Jones? I mean, you can debate it. Like, it is definitely debatable if Bobby Jones is better than Byron Beck. So I know that might be a bold statement putting Byron Beck a tier below Bobby Jones, but I'm going to do it. Cam Reddish. I mean, can I put him below Bobby Jones? I don't know, because I don't think Paul George is going into S tier. Like, Paul George is better Cam Reddish. And I can't really justify too much putting Paul George and Cam Reddish in the same tier. So I'll put Cam Reddish A. Reddish is still good to this day. Like, he came out during draft. It was during the NBA draft that he came out, because he was the lock-in for the EVO. And obviously the Cam Reddish glitch is a thing. There's no point even doing it right now because you can get guys for like 25k that are comparable to him, like an Rudy Fernandez. But yeah, he's there. Melo S. Melo, a lot of people really underrate this Melo. His release on next gen is so good. He's good. I like him on current gen. I don't think he's great on current gen because I know a lot of people don't like him on current gen. I think he's fine. I've only used him like once or twice, but he's been perfectly fine. But for me, he belongs in S tier because I think he is definitely a lot better than Bobby Jones. And that's kind of the standard we've set. And he's a lot better than Cam Reddish. I might move around everybody in tiers at some stage. Actually, I need to check, are there any other garbage men in this list? Because if there are no other garbage men, Iverson is going to be lower. Yeah, Iverson, again, I always put Iverson a tier higher, but I mean, Iverson, you got to go into D tier. You got to go into worthless tier. And we're renaming it because I don't think Iverson's worthless. We're renaming it to E tier. Yeah, I'm not even going to say F tier because F tier is quite a bad thing to call it when some of the cards in it are actually pretty decent. So Iverson, you go F tier. Like, we're like 9 minutes in, so this is where we get like the lower tier players into their tiers. Pierce is F tier. We don't have Elton Brand here, do we? Not by the looks of things. I think there's anyone else here F tier. Not really. These are probably the worst three on the list. They really are probably the worst three on the list right here. So let's move you down. 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 That looks better. That looks better right now. And what I moved, I just realized I didn't have it on camera. That is what I have done to this list. So Chris Kaman, D tier. He's an awful for a lock-in. He's not awful. It's hard to describe. Like, he's not an awful card, but you are crazy if you lock him in. If that statement makes sense. Like, there's not even that many great cards. Like, Smush Parker is the best card that came out in the set, including... Actually, no. I don't know. Is Smush Parker better than Bill Russell 2.0 Bob McAdoo? I don't know. There's definitely a debate to be had there. But either way, I think I'm happy putting him in D tier. Colin Sexton, he's an A tier player. Colin Sexton's really good. Again, he was one of my top 10 point guards. I think I didn't even put him in my overall tier list. He kind of goes under the radar. Like, I forget that he exists. Because he's more expensive than what he's worth. He's very, very comparable to Felipe Lopez and Smush Parker, but he's like 100 times more expensive than Felipe. 150 times more expensive than Felipe Lopez. At times, I think he is over a buyout. As far as I'm aware, he's over a buyout. If he's under a buyout, he's actually not the worst player in the world. Like, if you're a Sexton fan, he's a beast. Oh, he's a buyout. He's like 94k. Still not good value, but if you're a Colin Sexton fan, go get him. He's good. And Curry slide, range, dunks it. The guy's fantastic. Connie Hawkins, I mean, he's not terrible. And I know somebody that has this card is going to be complaining that he's in E tier, so I'm going to put him in D tier. He's like he was what used to be called a Dino clone, then they changed what Dino was. So he's a Mo Williams clone. He's one of those like 10 players with the exact same sig. So he's D tier, but you can get every badge on him. Good stats. He actually has the really, really good thing on next gen of Hall of Fame posterizer, which is Showtime on current gen, of having Hall of Fame posterizer, but only basic dunks. So he actually just posters everybody on next gen. So I'm gonna give him a D tier spot. Danny Granger, A. I like Granger more than most people like Granger, which is apparent because people go crazy when I put him high on tier lists. I think his release is what separates him, especially on next gen. That base 29 is so cash and quick, and actually it's unbelievable on current gen as well. He's 6'9", he plays lanes, he plays defense, he's got good enough speed. Like, I'm such a huge fan of this card. Like, when he came out, he was fantastic. I think he's still fantastic. A lot of people say, oh yeah, he was good when he came out, but he's been outclassed, and that is true. Like, you can't really compare him to the T-Max of the world, but at the end of the day, not a lot of guys do compare to the T-Max of the world, and he's still really good in his own right. Dave Cowens, I'm sorry. You're not as good as Alonzo Mourning. I said it. I said it. This card was great for his time. He really was great for his time. But his time is not now. His time is not now. Wayne Embry will be an iconic card. Because he was the first, like, elite player we ever got in either TTO or a Vault. Like, last year, we got, like, Kiki Vandeweghe and stuff. Like, they weren't absolutely god tier. Obviously, I think they accidentally put the T-Max in the Vault or in the TTO boards last year for that weekend. But I think that the only real... Like, last year even, the best player we got was, like, Mel Daniels in the Vault. And he was good, but he wasn't, like, a game changer at the time. Wayne Embry was the best center in the game for about a month. He was when we really started to realize the Vault cards could be something special when they started releasing those, like, 1950s and 60s players into them. But Dave Cowens, though, he was like a worse Wayne Embry. He really was. So Wayne Embry, I'm going to give Wayne Embry a tier higher. I think I may have just described Wayne Embry when talking about Dave Cowens. Dave Cowens, I was thinking of Wayne Embry. Dave Cowens was a really, really good player. Part of the Possessed set, again, was really good for his time. And yeah, it was just the worst Wayne Embry. I don't know how I mixed up Dave Cowens and Embry. I really don't know how I mixed them up while describing him. But that might go down as almost as big a blunder in a video as me falling asleep during the iconic Dr. J gameplay in 2K18. Boogie Cousins, A tier. A lot of people... Oh, there's a lot of Boogie slander. Is he an elite center in this game? No question. Like, there are some people that hate this card. There are some people that love this card. I'm in the latter group of people. I think he's fantastic. I like his release. His dribbling's incredible. He's got a wide body. His lateral quickness is good. His defensive animations are good. His stats are good. I think there's very few flaws with this card. Like, is he the greatest center in the game? No. Does he compare to Anthony Davis? No. But is he a beast? Yes. Derrick Rose, B tier. He's just not as good as Colin Sexton. Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong. D Rose is still very, very good. But Colin Sexton is just simply better. He is just simply better. So, Derrick Rose, you're going into B tier. Fournier, S. I mean, who's going to argue that Evan Fournier is not an S tier pink diamond? Evan Fournier is so good. Like, he's so good. Like, there are good players, and then there are guys that I would say are so good. Evan Fournier, he's not quite at the dentist level, but he's that level a little bit below. He's above the Kobe level. He's above the Granger level. Like, he is in that, like, upper echelon of two guards in the game. Like, he's like in the conversation with Michael Jordan and Klay Thompson. And you know, like, that's tough company. Like, they're good cards. They are really, really good cards if he's in the conversation with MJ and Klay. That's all I can say. Like, the guy is a fantastic, fantastic player in this game. And the fact is, a lot of people were able to get him for free, myself included, over the past couple of days. Gervin, boring. You are bang average. You get the, again, you got the Hoff post Showtime and no Showtime dunks, which means you got Hoff posterizer and basic dunks, which is actually one of the best things you can have on next gen, which is hilarious. So, like, one of the worst things you can have on current gen, and people complain about it. It's like the Baron Davis situation. It's actually one of the best things for next gen. But yeah, he's C tier. He's fine. Don't get me wrong, he's fine. He does everything at a moderately good rate, but his Ruby does basically all the exact same things as the Pink Diamond, which is hilarious. Gerald Wallace, I mean, I'm tempted to put him S. I really am. Gerald Wallace is incredible. You saw plenty of him being ran at the weekend at 250k. Like, I'm doing it. Melo, you go down. As much as I like you, Gerald Wallace, S tier. Gerald Wallace is one of the top defensive players in the game. The guy's got an unbelievable release. Like, there's just nothing really that Gerald Wallace does not do at an elite level in 2K21. There really isn't. He shoots really well. Like, obviously you got to give the dude range, but I mean, how hard is it to give a player a range extender? He's got an absolutely elite just animation, elite at going to the basket, and yeah, just an incredible card. Apologies if I am stumbling up a little bit in words, because I've just realized that when I'm speaking. I'm really, again, as I've said, I'm really just not feeling well at the minute, so it's kind of just hard for me to keep focusing for 30-40 minutes. So apologies, because I just realized I was stumbling a little bit there on Gerald Wallace, so apologies for that. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, S, no question about it. Again, you saw him in Ty's squad. I'm pretty sure you saw him in Splash's squad as well. The best defensive lane player in the game. His shooting is passable. It really is. He's got the Pro 2 behind the back. His release is good. And I reckon when we get a better Giannis card, it might be the best card in my team. Like, his animations are almost perfect in this game. And his defense is ridiculous. Grant Hill, I mean, I know Isaac put him S tier in two guards, but I mean, is he that much better than George Gervin? I don't think so. Like, I don't believe he's as good as Cam Reddish. And I never did. Cam Reddish was always a higher than Grant Hill on my list. I hate his release. I hate his release so much. Isaiah Thomas, I mean, you and Jameer are going down into this bottom tier at this stage. And it's unfortunate because I like you guys. I do, just like I like Iverson. I like you guys, but you're the worst players that we have here. So actually, you know what? Both of these guys up. Because I don't know why Mark Price is here. He doesn't exist. Because we can put LaMarcus Aldridge down here, who does very, very little on the floor. So we can fill out the worthless tier spot, well, the E tier spot with LaMarcus Aldridge, who really, like, I got him for free and I was disappointed. That's how I feel about this card. So then we got Jack Marin. Marin's A tier. Marin belongs kind of in a similar tier to Granger. I think Granger's better, but I think Marin is definitely in the debate for being better in this game. So I'm going to put Jack Marin into A tier right here. He's not quite top of the top, but he's quite close. Sigma, I mean, let me have a look at the bigs we have left. So we've got 10 minutes, or we're 20 minutes in. So I'm just going to sort out some of the bigs right here. Kevin Love is going to go here. I mean, Karl Malone's top tier. If Blake Griffin's top tier, Karl Malone's top tier. And it's an unfortunate one because, again, I've already said I will not be using a Karl Malone card this year. I might use him for a gameplay, but I will not be using him in my squad at all, because just for personal reasons. But at the same time, like, you can't deny that this card is spectacular. So I wouldn't be doing I'd be doing a disservice to my fans, but by not telling you guys how good this card is. He's also quite a lot cheaper because he doesn't have any agendas. Then we have got Jack Sigma. I mean, Sigma's on that buggy level. He really is. Sigma really is on the buggy level. I know a lot of people don't like to say it, but the guy's good. The card is really, really good. His release, fantastic. He's a bad lock-in. Like, I wouldn't advise anyone to get him. But, like, if you did lock him in, you've got a great card in your hand. Because I know Splash locked him in and was considering running him in 250. But, obviously, a bunch of great cards came out on the day before. Then we got Joel Embiid. I mean, Embiid... I'm between like B and C right here. I'm going to put him in C. Again, I was really high on him when he came out. And the more I like use Joel Embiid, the less high I am on the card. Like, every time I'm trying to use Joel Embiid, like in a gameplay or something, I'm like, was this card this bad when he came out? I think I was just really high on the other Joel Embiid. And this one is just a better version that I rated highly, but obviously times change. Then we got Stockton. Stockton's going... I mean, Stockton's probably better than Isaiah Thompson, Jameer Nelson. But, like, again, you have to say it like it is. He's probably in that lower... He's probably in that lower tier of point guards because he's 6'1". Wall, I mean, Wall's going E tier as well. And this is this is kind of mad that, like, at this stage, John Wall's just outdated. Like, John Wall's still usable. Like, of this bottom tier, the only cards I would say are borderline unusable are Pierce and Bob Pettit. The rest of them are fine. Like, there could be a worthless tier just for those two guys. Then we got KD. KD's B tier, but it's kind of close because on next gen he's A tier. I really like KD. I like his dribbling. I like almost everything about this card, and he's got blinders as well for next gen. But they nerfed the hell out of blinders. There is no way anymore to not get 45% contest shooting wide opens on next gen. It's an unfortunate consequence with the game, the way they completely nerfed everything. But yeah, he's going B tier. Chris Middleton, C tier, right in the middle of the road. He's fine. He does a job. It's not like he's the greatest card in the world. It's not like he's the worst card in the world. He's fine. He's just there. Like, he's one of the players I'm most confident in hitting a wide open shot with in this game. There's no question about that. But I mean, he doesn't do much at this stage because every card does everything. He doesn't do much. And we got Kobe. Kobe's A tier. Kobe is definitely A tier. On a similar level to Granger. I prefer Granger. A lot of people prefer Kobe. That is perfectly fine. And the fact is, the card is 2 months old and he's still being used in a lot of good squads. He's a more than usable player. He's got the hype player tag, so a lot of people are hyped to use Kobe, but I mean, I don't think he's the greatest player in the world. Then we get Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, it's hard to knock up Porzingis and Boogie in the same tier. I don't really like Porzingis. And it's a weird one because Porzingis should suit my game playstyle. I just don't like him. I just do not like Kristaps in this game. It's hard to explain why. I just don't. I just really don't. Kyrie Irving. I mean, I prefer Colin Sexton. If you want to put Kyrie Irving in A tier, I'm not going to complain. I'm just telling you guys, if you want to put Kyrie Irving in A tier, I'm not going to complain. He's just B tier for me. Kyrie Irving is very similar to Colin Sexton. I think Colin Sexton's got a better release. And on next gen, I'm going to say Sexton's better. But like Kyrie on current gen, I will say Kyrie's definitely better on current gen than Colin Sexton. It's a lot. I don't even think it's a debate on next gen. Whether Colin Sexton is better than Kyrie, I don't even think it's even a close argument. I think Colin Sexton's so far ahead of Kyrie on next gen. I think it's relatively close on current gen. But yeah, so that's why they're in these tiers. Lamar Odom, S. Lamar Odom, again, one of the most underrated players in this game. Just like last year when Lamar Odom's diamond was super underrated, this Lamar Odom's super underrated. They ruined Lamar Odom's diamond, which is a pity because I have him on one of my accounts. But this Lamar Odom, I'm telling you, a PG base, 6'10". There's a reason why you saw him on an awful lot of squads, 250. Lamar Odom is a beast, man. He is a beast. Then we have got Larry Bird. Larry Bird, just for how I would say how OP he is on next gen, but shooting is now completely nerfed. Like, nobody's a good shooter on next gen anymore. Like, at this stage, you got it's stick or no point. Like, but I mean, he's a lot better now in Houston, so I'm gonna give him B tier. LeBron James, B or A. I'll give him B, but he's good. Again, he's very much too expensive for what he is. Like, he's a pretty good card, but he's more expensive than a lot of guys in his A tier. But yeah, he's like the possessed LeBron with all gold badges, so he's pretty good. Lonzo, S. Let me just put in the S tier, guys. Lonzo, S. Terry Dishinger, S. Are there any more S? I don't know about Levine. I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna leave it at this for my S tier. You know, actually no, Evan Fournier is an S tier, so Levine, you're an S tier as well. This is my S tier. We got Giannis, we got Karl Malone, we got Blake, we got Fournier, we got Wallace, we got Odom, we got Lonzo, and we got Terry Dishinger. We actually have 4 cards that have been released in the past week in S tier. And that's kind of the way the game is going. They're constantly outdoing. 2K are constantly outdoing themselves. Alright, let's just fill in the rest of these bottom tiers. I'm trying to think who's in the lower tiers. I mean, Vince Silver, Rain Silver, Clamps. I'm sorry, you're D tier. You're the best Vince Carter we have in the game, but I mean, you're not great. You're not really great, are you? Penny Hardaway, E tier. Again, Penny Hardaway had a niche for a while. The Hall of Fame drop stepper Penny Hardaway on next gen. And I mean, post-hooking Penny Hardaway is a weird niche on current gen, but like, he can't get clamps, and there's no reason to use Penny Hardaway over Reggie Theus, who's literally Penny Hardaway, but does every single thing better. There is never a reason to use this card anymore. Magic Johnson, I mean, post-hooking Magic has put Magic Johnson in B tier. I would put Magic in probably C tier. But the people that have learned how to post-hook with this dude, yeah, I cannot put the starting point guard on like 4 250k squads lower than A tier. Actually, no, he's a niche. I'm putting him in A tier. He is a niche. And a lot of these like niche players, like if you use them in the right way, can be fantastic, like Simmons. So I'm going to give him A tier. Wherever Bobby Jones is, I'm going to put Maurice Lucas 1 tier below. Maurice Lucas is basically Bobby Jones without the offense, or with less offense. And that's hard to do because Bobby Jones is already bad in offense. Maurice Lucas is one of the best defensive players in the game. It is just offensively, he's one of the weakest ones that people still use. Mitch Richmond, wherever Allen Houston is, these two will forever be linked. Their amethysts will be linked, their pink diamonds will be linked, and I can guarantee you, if they both get opal cards, they'll be linked all year. Big O. Hey, really like Oscar Robertson. Sexton, you're going down a tier. You're going down a tier. As much as I love Colin Sexton, I think Oscar Robertson's just better in most ways. So I think Sexton is closer to Kyrie. And you can argue they're up there with Robinson, but I'm going to put Sexton down a tier. Yeah. And like, I completely forgot about Sexton in my point guard list. And Kyrie and Sexton they're too close to be separated by a tier. They really are. Paul George, A. PG, really, really good. PG release. He's got a good behind the back in current gen. He's got, again, he's 6'9", elite length, elite just all around stats, fast, dunks the ball well, shoots it well. It's a great card. Rudy Tomjanovic, A tier. The only problem with Rudy Tomjanovic is that he has got like high 80 speed. He's got an insane release. He can curry. 6'8", power forward. There's so many good things for going for this card. Like, really, I would, again, not a card I wouldn't advise to lock in, just like Jack Sigma, but a fantastic, fantastic player. Then we got Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is B tier, just because of how OP he can be. Will Steph ever be great in a competitive setting? No. Will Steph Curry be... Could Steph Curry be the best player on your team in MyTEAM Unlimited and you blow out everybody by 40 points? Yes. He really is. And Steph Curry can put up points in a hurry. Great shooter. Just a really, really good player on both gens. It's just, there are just a lot taller point guards and he's just too kind of small and has too small player build. Rozier. Lower B tier. His release is so cash. He's got a long wingspan, I get it. You know what, I can't put. I'm moving Stockton up a tier. And I'm moving Terry Rozier down a tier. I can't justify putting Stockton a tier below Terry Rozier. So Terry Rozier is just that little bit worse than these guys. And then Stockton is that little bit better than the guys. So I'm going to move both of them into the same tier. Walt Frazier. Wherever Derrick Rose is. I don't know who I'd take right now, Walt Frazier or Derrick Rose, because I like Walt Frazier's release. Most people hate it, I really like it. And that is the only reason I have him high, because defensively, Walt Frazier is god tier. He's incredible. Then we got Walter Davis and Zach LaVine. Walter Davis, and I mean, even badged up 82 3-pointer. No hot zones, he's going C tier. Zach LaVine is, I mean, he's high enough B tier. He brings nothing on defense. Like, at least the other pick that Zach LaVine brings something on defense. Offensively, he's very good. Offensively, Zach LaVine's an A tier, but overall, he's a B tier player. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. This is the tier list. Now, lads, we have got all of the pink diamonds. So again, apologies if I've slipped up a little bit. It's hard to focus, and I'm in quite a bit of pain right now while recording the videos. But as I always say, like, videos don't make themselves, and I do always appreciate the support that you guys are giving. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.